Life, when viewed through the lens of faith, is not meant to be understood as a permanent residence, but rather as a temporary passage filled with tests, opportunities, and moments that shape our eternal destination. One of the most powerful realizations a believer can have is that this world is fleeting. Everything around us, our homes, our possessions, our relationships, our achievements, will one day either leave us or we will leave them. This awareness is not meant to depress or discourage, but to awaken. When a person truly understands that life is temporary, their priorities begin to shift. The obsession with worldly validation starts to fade, and the focus gradually moves toward actions that hold value beyond the grave. The temporary nature of life is evident in how quickly time passes. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before one realizes it, years have slipped away. Childhood memories feel like yesterday, yet they belong to a distant past. This rapid passage of time is a clear sign that this world is not designed to last. If something is constantly moving toward an end, it cannot be the ultimate destination. The believer recognizes this and begins to invest more in what is lasting, the hereafter. Unlike this world, hereafter is eternal. It is not subject to decay, aging, or loss. The rewards there do not diminish, and the consequences there do not fade. This contrast between the temporary nature of dunya and the permanence of the hereafter should be enough to make a person rethink how they spend their time and energy. When people forget that life is temporary, become deeply attached to things that were never meant to stay. They build their identities around careers, wealth, or social status, thinking these define their worth. However, when death approaches, all these labels fall away. What remains is the soul and the record of deeds. This realization can be unsettling, but it is also liberating. It frees a person from the pressure of constantly trying to impress others or keep up with unrealistic standards. Instead, it encourages sincerity, doing good for the sake of Allah alone, knowing that the real reward lies beyond this life. Understanding that life is temporary also brings a sense of urgency. It pushes a person to act now rather than later. Procrastination becomes dangerous when one realizes that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Many people live with the illusion that they have plenty of time to change, to repent, to improve. But the truth is, time is one of the most uncertain blessings. It can be taken away without notice. This is why the wise believer treats every day as a valuable opportunity. Chance to come closer to Allah, to correct mistakes, and to prepare for what comes next. This urgency is closely connected to the second key reality. Death can come at any moment without warning. Unlike other events in life that we can anticipate or plan for, death often arrives unexpectedly. A person may wake up in the morning with plans for the day, for the week, or even for years ahead, but by evening their life could come to an end. This unpredictability is a powerful reminder that we are not in control of our lifespan. No amount of wealth, strength, or intelligence can delay death when its appointed time arrives. The suddenness of death is something we witness around us constantly. People of all ages pass away, young and old, healthy and sick. It does not follow a predictable pattern. Sometimes those who appear to have their whole lives ahead of them are taken first. This reality shatters the common misconception that death is something distant, reserved only for the elderly. In truth, death is closer to us than we realize. It is not waiting for us to be ready. It comes at its appointed time, regardless of our plans or desires. This awareness should deeply affect how a person lives. If death can come at any moment, then every action matters. Every prayer, every word, every decision carries weight. A person cannot afford to be careless with their time or negligent in their responsibilities toward Allah. The idea of "I will fix my life later" becomes extremely risky. Later is not promised. The only moment a person truly has is the present. This moment is the opportunity to change, to seek forgiveness, and to do good. At the same time, the unpredictability of death is not meant to create fear alone. It is meant to inspire preparation. Just as a traveler prepares for a journey, knowing that departure could be near, a believer prepares for death by strengthening their relationship with Allah. This preparation includes maintaining regular prayers, avoiding sins, seeking forgiveness, and engaging in acts of kindness. It also involves purifying the heart from negative traits like arrogance, jealousy, and hatred, as these can weigh heavily on a person's record. Another important aspect of remembering death is that it brings clarity. Many of the things that seem so important in daily life, arguments, grudges, competition over material things, lose their significance when viewed in the light of mortality. A person begins to ask themselves, if I were to die today, would this matter? Often the answer is no. This perspective helps in letting go of unnecessary conflicts and focusing on what truly matters: faith, character, and good deeds. Moreover, the thought that death can come at any moment encourages sincerity. When a person knows that their time is limited and uncertain, they are less likely to engage in actions that are purely for show or driven by ego. Instead, they strive to make their actions meaningful and accepted by Allah. They become more mindful of their intentions, ensuring that what they do is not just outwardly good, but also internally pure. The combination of these two realizations, that life is temporary and death is unpredictable, creates a powerful motivation for change. It shakes a person out of heedlessness and forces them to confront the reality of their existence. It reminds them that they are not here by accident and that their time here is limited. This awareness can be the turning point in a person's life, leading them to abandon harmful habits, seek forgiveness for past mistakes, and commit to a path of righteousness. However, this transformation does not happen automatically. It requires reflection. A person must take time to think deeply about their life, their actions, and their direction. They must ask themselves difficult questions. What am I living for? Where am I heading? If I were to die today, am I prepared? These questions are not meant to cause despair, but to inspire action. They are a wake-up call, urging a person to take control of their life before it is too late. In the end, the reality remains that every single person will leave this world. No one is exempt. The difference lies in how prepared they are when that moment arrives. Some will leave with hearts attached to this world, full of regret and missed opportunities. Others will leave with hearts at peace, knowing that they did their best to live a life pleasing to Allah. The choice between these two outcomes is being made every day through the actions we take and the priorities we set. Every soul will inevitably face the reality of death, regardless of status, strength, wealth, or age. This is not a possibility, but a certainty that defines the human experience. From the moment a person is born, their journey toward death begins. It is a truth so absolute that it does not discriminate between kings and commoners, the young or the old, the healthy or the sick. Reflecting on this reality brings a powerful sense of awareness that life is not as open-ended as it may seem. The illusion of permanence fades when one understands that every breath taken is a step closer to the final moment. This awareness is meant to awaken the heart, not paralyze it. It reminds a person that the time they have been given is limited and must be used wisely. When a person internalizes that every soul will taste death, they begin to see life differently. Things that once seemed so important begin to lose their weight. Arguments, pride, competition, and worldly ambitions start to feel insignificant when compared to the certainty of death. A person begins to ask deeper questions. What will truly matter when I am placed in the grave? What will accompany me when everyone else leaves? These reflections are essential because they shift the focus from temporary gains to eternal consequences. Instead of chasing what will fade, a person starts to invest in what will remain, their relationship with Allah and their deeds. The awareness of death also instills humility. No matter how powerful or successful someone becomes, they cannot escape death. This realization breaks the illusion of control that many people hold on to. It reminds them that they are dependent on Allah for every moment of their existence. This humility is crucial because it opens the door to sincerity and submission. A person who acknowledges their mortality is more likely to turn to Allah with a genuine heart, seeking guidance, forgiveness, and strength. At the same time, remembering death regularly acts as a protection against sin. When a person knows that their life could end at any moment, they become more cautious about their actions. The thought of meeting Allah with a record full of sins becomes a powerful deterrent. It encourages self-discipline and mindfulness. A person becomes more aware of their words, their behavior, and their choices, knowing that everything is being recorded and will be accounted for. This does not mean that they become perfect, but it means that they become conscious, aware of their weaknesses, and actively trying to improve. Another profound effect of remembering death is that it softens the heart. Hearts often become hard due to constant engagement with worldly distractions and neglect of spiritual needs. The remembrance of death breaks through this hardness. It brings tears to the eyes and sincerity to the soul. It reminds a person of their vulnerability and their need for Allah's mercy. This softened state of the heart is where true transformation begins. It is in these moments that a person turns back to Allah with humility, admitting their shortcomings and seeking a fresh start. Linked closely to this reality is the understanding that the grave is not the end, but the beginning of the hereafter. The grave is the first stage after death, a transition from the life of this world to the eternal life that follows. It is often overlooked because it is hidden from our daily experience, yet it is one of the most critical phases of a person's journey. What happens in the grave is a reflection of how a person lived their life. It is not just a physical resting place, but a state where the soul begins to experience the consequences of its actions. The thought of the grave can be unsettling, but it is meant to serve as a reminder rather than a source of despair. It is a place where all worldly distractions come to an end. The person who is placed in the grave is alone. No family, no friends, no possessions. The only companion they have is their deeds. This reality strips away all illusions and brings a person face to face with the truth of their life. It highlights the importance of preparing for that moment, ensuring that when the time comes, they are not left with regret. Understanding the grave as the first stage of the hereafter also emphasizes the importance of consistency in good deeds. It is not enough to perform acts of worship occasionally or only when it is convenient. What matters is a consistent effort to live a life that is pleasing to Allah. Small, regular acts of goodness can have a profound impact. A kind word, a sincere prayer, an act of charity. All of these contribute to the state a person will experience in the grave. The idea that every action matters becomes more real when one considers that these actions will shape their experience beyond this life. The awareness of the grave also encourages detachment from excessive love of the dunya. While it is natural to enjoy the blessings of this world, becoming overly attached can be dangerous. It can lead to neglect of the hereafter and a false sense of security. Remembering that one day all of this will be left behind helps maintain balance. A person learns to appreciate what they have without becoming consumed by it. They use their resources as a means to earn reward rather than as an end in itself. Another important aspect is that the grave serves as a barrier between this world and the hereafter. Once a person enters it, they no longer have the opportunity to return and correct their mistakes. The time for action is over and the time for accountability begins. This finality is a powerful motivator. It reminds a person that the chance they have now is unique and irreplaceable. Every moment wasted is a moment that cannot be recovered. This realization pushes a person to take their life seriously, to make conscious choices, and to avoid delaying important changes. Reflecting on both the certainty of death and the reality of the grave creates a deep sense of responsibility. It is no longer possible to live carelessly or without purpose. A person begins to understand that their life is a trust, and they will be questioned about how they used it. This sense of responsibility does not have to be overwhelming. Instead, it can be empowering. It gives a person a clear direction and a meaningful goal to live in a way that prepares them for what is to come. In this state of awareness, a person becomes more intentional. Their actions are no longer random or driven purely by desire. They begin to think before they act, considering the long-term consequences rather than just immediate gratification. This shift in mindset is crucial for personal growth. It allows a person to break free from harmful patterns and build habits that lead to success in both this life and the hereafter. Ultimately, the remembrance of death and the reality of the grave are not meant to take away joy from life, but to give it depth and purpose. They remind a person that every moment is valuable and that their existence has meaning. Instead of drifting through life aimlessly, they become focused, aware, and driven by a higher purpose. This transformation is what leads to true success, not just in the eyes of the world, but in the sight of Allah. One of the most overlooked realities in human life is that when a person leaves this world, everything they spent their entire life chasing, wealth, possessions, status, and even relationships, remains behind. What follows them into the grave is not their bank balance, their achievements, or the admiration of people, but their deeds. This truth is both simple and profound. It completely reshapes how a believer understands success and failure. In a world that constantly pushes people to accumulate more and achieve higher worldly status, this reminder cuts through the illusion and brings clarity. Only what is done for the sake of Allah truly lasts. People often spend years building wealth, worrying about financial security, and striving for comfort. While earning and providing are important and even encouraged in Islam, the problem arises when these pursuits become the primary focus of life. A person may work tirelessly, sacrificing their time, their Arabic in, Arabic ba, Arabic alif, Arabic dollar, Arabic alif, Arabic ta, and even their Arabic alif, Arabic am, Arabic alif, Arabic af, thinking that their wealth will secure their future. But the reality is that the moment death arrives, all is behind. It is passed on to others, sometimes even becoming a source of conflict among heirs. The one who earned it has no share in it anymore. This realization should not discourage effort, but should guide intention. Wealth should be seen as a tool, not a goal, a means to earn reward through charity, helping others and fulfilling responsibilities. What truly accompanies a person into the grave are their deeds, both good and bad. Every prayer offered, every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every word spoken, all of it is preserved. Similarly, every sin, every Arabic thought, Arabic lam, Arabic meme, every act of disobedience is also recorded. Nothing is lost. This understanding brings a deep sense of accountability. It makes a person more conscious of how they live their daily life. Even the smallest actions gain significance because they are part of a record that will never be erased except through sincere repentance. The beauty of this reality is that it gives every individual, regardless of their worldly status, an equal opportunity to succeed. A person may not have wealth, influence, or power, but they can still fill their record with good deeds. A sincere dua, a kind smile, helping someone in need, being patient in hardship, these are all actions that carry immense weight in the sight of Allah. On the other hand, a person may have everything in this world but neglect their relationship with Allah and their responsibilities, leaving them with a record that is empty or burdened with sins. This understanding also shifts the definition of success. In the eyes of the world, success is often measured by visible achievements, career, income, recognition. But from the perspective of the hereafter, success is measured by the state of one's deeds. A person who lived a simple life but filled it with sincerity, Arabic keen, Arabic ba, Arabic elif, Arabic talif, Arabic da, and good character may be far more successful than someone who had everything but neglected their faith. This realization brings comfort to those who feel behind in worldly terms and serves as a warning to those who are ahead but spiritually neglectful. At the same time, knowing that only deeds follow person creates a sense of urgency to improve. It encourages a person to constantly evaluate themselves. What am I sending forward for my hereafter? Am I investing in something that will benefit me after death, or am I wasting my time on things that will be left behind? This self-reflection is essential for growth. It helps a person identify areas where they need to change and motivates them to take action before it is too late. Connected to this is the powerful realization that this world is not a permanent home, but a test. Everything in this life, ease and hardship, success and failure, wealth and poverty, is part of this test. It is designed to reveal a person's Arabic alif, Arabic Farsi, ye, Arabic meme, Arabic alif, Arabic noon, patience, gratitude and character. When a person understands that this life is a test, their entire perspective changes. Difficulties are no longer seen as meaningless suffering, and blessings are no longer taken for granted. Instead, both are seen as opportunities to succeed. Tests come in different forms. For some, the test is hardship, financial struggles, health issues, loss, or emotional pain. These situations test a person's patience and trust in Allah. Will they remain steadfast or will they lose hope? For others, the test is ease, wealth, comfort, success, and opportunities. These situations test a person's gratitude and humility. Will they remember Allah and use their blessings in a good way, or will they become arrogant and forgetful? Both types of tests are equally challenging, and both require awareness and Arabic alif, Arabic shursi, Arabic meme, Arabic alif, Arabic noon to navigate correctly. Understanding life as a test also helps a person deal with injustice and unfairness. In this world, things do not always seem balanced. Good people may suffer, while those who do wrong may appear to succeed. Without the perspective of the hereafter, this can be confusing and discouraging. But when a person realizes that this life is only a test, they understand that true justice is not meant to be fully realized here. It will be completed in the hereafter. This understanding brings peace and prevents a person from becoming bitter or losing faith. Another important aspect of seeing life as a test is that it gives meaning to every situation. Nothing is random or without purpose. Every challenge, every delay, every difficulty is an opportunity to grow and to earn reward. A person who adopts this mindset becomes more resilient. Instead of asking why is this happening to me, they begin to ask, how should I respond to this? This shift in thinking is powerful because it turns problems into opportunities for Arabic king, Arabic beba, Arabic tlif, Arabic dala, Arabic ta, and personal development. At the same time, recognizing that this world is a test prevents a person from becoming overly attached to it. When someone believes that this life is their final destination, they become deeply invested in every success and every failure. They may feel extreme joy at gains and deep despair at losses. But when they understand that this is just a test, they maintain balance. They appreciate blessings without becoming arrogant, and they endure hardships without losing hope. This balance is a sign of strong Arabic alif, Arabic Farsi, ye Arabic mim, Arabic alif, Arabic noon. This perspective also encourages responsibility. A test implies that there will be results. Just as a student prepares seriously when they know an exam is coming, a believer prepares for the hereafter. They do not live carelessly because they know that every action will be evaluated. This sense of responsibility leads to discipline, consistency, and a conscious effort to improve. When these two realities are combined, that only deeds follow a person and that this life is a test, they create a powerful framework for living. A person becomes focused on what truly matters. They begin to prioritize Arabic in, Arabic ba, Arabic alif, Arabic dala, Arabic alif, Arabic ta, good character, and actions that benefit others. They become more mindful of their time, avoiding things that waste their energy without benefit. They also become more patient and grateful, understanding that everything they experience is part of a larger purpose. This transformation does not mean that a person abandons the world completely. Islam encourages balance. A person continues to work, to build, to enjoy halal pleasures, but with the right intention and awareness. Their heart is not attached to the dunya, even if their hands are engaged in it. They use this world as a means to prepare for the next, rather than becoming lost in it. In this state, life gains clarity and direction. A person is no longer drifting aimlessly, chasing temporary goals without thinking about the consequences. They are living with purpose, aware of where they are going and what they need to do to get there. This awareness is the key to truly fixing one's life before it is too late.